Hey everybody, happy Friday. Time for presents. Anyways, welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina K-O-S-T-I-N-A. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy stuff going on here. So I hope you'll hit the like and subscribe. Given the season, please hit the like and subscribe. My decorations will show up next month. Or the month after. Or the month after that. And then it'll be Christmas and I don't know. But anyways, we are on Voyager now. If you haven't gone back and watched all the Star Trek Next Generations, go watch those. Especially the ones with the gibbly, garbly sound issues way back when. I will ever remember those embarrassed episodes. So we did Catharsis, we did Faces, we did Jet Trail. This week is the end of the disc. It's the learning curve. We're still in season 1. We did all 7 seasons of Next Generation. I hope you'll go check those out, like I just said, with all the gibbly garbly. So we're doing learning curve today. And there is no voiceover. Although I would like to say that of all the Star Treks, Voyager can't sing, can't hold a tune is my favorite theme music, and I wish I could play it, but there's huge copyright issues. But being out of tune might be benefit right now. Sorry, get it. But Janeway is in that English household again, being governess or whatever the hell, whatever she's being, tutoring governess. And we see this a few times. We saw it already once this season, but we have it again today, her with the kids, and the kids giving her a hard time. And then we have it later on with Q shows up, and he takes her to the Civil War. And then we will get the Irish landscaping at some point. But right now, she is doing the English governessing. And the kids are giving a hard time. And there's a little bit of a mystery going on the holodeck that may or may not be written into the actual story that Janeway is doing. So she's got to do a little detectiving on her own. So we'll have to see how that works out for her. So let's get started here. So Janeway meets the kids, and like I said, they give her a hard time. And after their confusion about their mother being, is she dead or is she not dead? Is she dead or is she not dead? She gets a call from the bridge. Actually, let me rephrase that. She calls the bridge because some of her scenery disappears from the holodeck. And Chakotay says, we're experiencing power fluctuations on Deck 6, Captain. Mr. Tuvok is investigating. And then we get to Deck 6, and he's talking with Dalby. Lieutenant Tuvok to Lieutenant Duras. Has any equipment repair been authorized on Deck 6? Negative. What's going on? Stand by. Dalby says, you might have broken the connection. Crewman Dalby, what are you doing here? One of the bio-neural packs was malfunctioning. I had to replace it. Did you inform Lieutenant Torres? Not yet. I was just going to take this to engineering for analysis. On this ship, we have protocol for such procedure. I was in the area. I saw a malfunctioning gel pack and fixed it. What's the problem? Your repair interrupted a number of ship functions. That is the problem. I guess I'm used to doing things a little differently. On our ship, when something was wrong, you fixed it. Yeah, well, he should have informed Torres, his boss, that something was wrong. I would remind you, Mr. Dalby, that you are no longer on the Marquis ship. I'm well aware of that, Lieutenant, and every minute of every day I regret it. I'm just trying to do my job, trying to help out. If that goes against Starfleet almighty rules, put me in the brig. Otherwise, leave me alone. Attitude, mister. Got some attitude. I'm gonna have some issues. We'll see. So then we get a captain's voiceover. I should have kept the ship, but because that's when they usually do the voiceovers with the ship. Sorry. Captain's log stardate 48846.5. Ordinarily, the loss of a gel pack would be a minor inconvenience, but here in the Delta Quadrant, it's a reminder of the precarious nature of our journey. And Janeway's in her ready room, and she's got Chakotay and Tuvok with her. I don't understand. The gel packs have been extremely reliable track record. It's almost impossible to damage them. Why did this one malfunction? Unknown. Lieutenant Torres is running material analysis on the gel pack. In the meantime, the unit has been replaced. How many do we have left in reserve? 47. Those gel packs run half the critical systems on the ship. Once they run out, that's it. We can't replicate new ones. It might be possible to switch over some systems to conventional linear circuits. Good idea. Start looking into it. Tuvok says, there is one other matter I wish to discuss. I'm concerned about crewman Dalby. He attempted to make unauthorized repairs on a damaged gel pack. When I confronted him, he lost control. How so? Janeway says. He became extremely angry to the point of insubordination. I've heard complaints about him from others. Tuvok says, indeed, this is not the first incident involving Mr. Dalby. Last week he was found tampering with the ship's systems to increase a friend's replicator rations, and he missed 3 of his last 10 duty shifts. Commander, you know Mr. Dalby better than I do. Any idea what's bothering him? Chakotay says, Dalby's always been pretty aggressive. My guess is the man's frustrated. He's not used to dealing with Starfleet protocol and procedures. Our starship cannot run without protocols. Mr. Dalby's attitude is disrupting the vessel's operations. What do you suggest I do? Chakotay says. Drag him in front of a disciplinary board? Perhaps that would be the best approach. That's not going to help. Dalby's not the only Marquis who's having problems adjusting. And besides, it's not only a matter of attitude, it's also a matter of experience. It's not fair to expect Starfleet behavior from people who never went to the academy. What do you suppose? Tuvok says. We need to bring some of these people up to speed, instruct them in how to run a Starfleet vessel, show them why we do things the way we do, give them an opportunity to feel like they're part of the team. A crash course in Starfleet operations, field training. Exactly. So what do you think, Mr. Tuvok? Are you up to training a group of raw cadets? Me? Who, me? Commander Chakotay would be a more logical choice to their instructor. He's Marquis as well as their former captain. That's my point, Janeway says. He doesn't have to earn their respect. We do. Very well, Captain. I will prepare a curriculum. Commander, pick out the Marquis crewmen you feel would most benefit from the training. Have them report to Lieutenant Tuvok at the next duty shift. Chakotay says, don't worry, Tuvok. I'll tell them to take it easy on you. We got some crew issues here. We're going to be in the Delta Quadrant for 7 years. You got to get used to it. We got the situation here. Sorta, kinda. It ended too soon. It ended way too soon. So, we got Tuvok training these 3 peoples. Henley, I think we need some clarification. Just why have we been singled out for this honor? The answer to that question would seem to be self-evident, crewman. Interrupting a senior officer is not acceptable behavior. The purpose of this training is to familiarize you with Starfleet protocols so that mistakes like that won't be minimized. Still, remains the fact that if I have permission to speak, Lieutenant, thank you. As I was saying, the fact remains that you have noticed certain problems with each member of the select group, or we wouldn't be here. Frankly, I can't imagine what I would have done that warrants my inclusion. Crewman Shell, in fact, your report indicates that you are talkative, disruptive, and unreliable. You promise to do tasks, then they go undone. That is a complete exaggeration. Just yesterday, I overhauled the servicing system. Crewman, from this point on, you will only speak if you are spoken to. But, Lieutenant, I was just trying to... And Tuvok tells him to take 40 laps around the cargo bay as punishment for interrupting a senior officer. As I was saying, this class will adhere to standards established for Starfleet cadets. There will be physical training and academic studies, as well as tactical situations, which will be simulated on the holodeck. Crewman, have you been listening to me? And he's there. Yes. From now on, you will look at me when I'm talking to you. Leave him alone, Dobby says. What was that? I said, leave him alone. You can't see he's just a kid? He shouldn't even be here. We think he should. You probably have me running 200 laps for this, but I don't care. The problem with having Lieutenant is this whole thing is insulting. We didn't come aboard the ship, but we understand the situation we're in, and we've done the best job we can. And now you're telling us it's not good enough? That is correct. Well, that maybe that's too bad. Maybe we've done the best we can, and as good as you're going to get. How about that? Well, lack of self-esteem, lack of pride in one's work, or laziness, or insubordination, or not even an attempt to at least try. Hey, this is the best I can do. Deal with it, or at least try to improve. And if you can improve, then that's the best you could do. But maybe you can do a little bit better. Maybe you can try a little harder, or at least, I mean, especially when it's insubordination and talking back, that should, do a little less each day. Try and bite your tongue a few times, or cover, just stop yourself from doing it. But they've got these chips on their shoulders that she could have left them out there by themselves. She could have left them on that ship. They could be floating around the Delta Quadrant all by themselves, and they probably would have run out of rations by now on that shuttlecraft they were on. I mean, come on. But hey, if they want to be dropped off on a planet someplace, you know what hardship that would be? Farming, and you don't know what kind of plants that planet has, or what kind of air that planet has, or what kind of fish, if it has water, what kind of anything. So you decide you want to be on, and you'll never, ever, 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 ever see Earth again. If you stay on the ship, you might, descendants, they're supposed to not know that their life is over in 7 years, but their descendants would have a chance to see Earth again. But if they dropped them off on a planet now, that's it. There's nothing. So you can either tone your tone of voice down and be, when a senior officer is talking to you, shut up. Or you can be on a planet where you're going to have to work for everything or starve to death. You got a choice out in their Delta Quadrant. I didn't even notice the blue guy before. You think he's the same guy that cuts Picard's hair on Generation? You think he's the same blue guy? Anybody know? Let me know. So, things got a little heated on the cargo bay, and they stormed out. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't such a good idea to leave like that. I mean, they're not just going to let us get away with it. What are they going to do? Put us off the ship? Keep us in the brig for 70 years? Every person on this ship is needed. Nothing's going to happen. It's not like we're guilty of mutiny. We're just trying to do our job, same as ever. We're just not going to jump through any Starfleet hoops. You're on a Starfleet ship? So then he takes the chair from the blue guy. He could have just gotten another chair from someplace else, but he makes the blue guy get up. And Chakotay comes in and sits down. You want to give me your version of what happened? Commander, we're going to live up to our responsibilities on the ship. We're just not going to be treated like teenage cadets. I see, said Chakotay. It was ridiculous. Tuvok had Shell running laps around the cargo bay. And he was picking on Guron. I don't like it, really. Look, Commander, you know as well as I do that we're used to playing with different rulebook. That there's Starfleet way and there's the Marquis way. And you want to do things the Marquis way? That's right. And so Chakotay punches him. That's the Marquis way too, isn't it? If you want to keep doing it the Marquis way, that's fine with me. We can do that tomorrow, the next day, and every day till you report to Lieutenant Tuvok. You understand me? What? How does a Starfleet crewman answer a question? Yes, sir. Does anyone else have a problem? No. No. Let's see. So, they all show up dutifully the next day, and Tuvok gives them tablets. You know, what's it called? Good Lord. I forget what it's called. Do you know this thing still works? I can't make, if I charge it up, I can get my pictures. Actually, I've transferred my pictures to my computer a couple years ago. But this was my first. So that looks a little bit like it. Right? You think? A little tablet, a little Game Boy tablet. Could you imagine that they were doing all this stuff and all the stuff that was coming out and the computers that were coming out and all this kind of stuff, and they thought they were so futuristic? Now they're Kindle and, all your tablets and stuff. So he hands out the pads. These are your study assignments for next week. Please note that the examinations will be conducted randomly with no advance notice. I will now inspect your uniforms. Commander Henley, your headband is certainly festive. Thank you. However, it is in violation of regulations. Please check the protocol files for recommended guidelines. What is this? And he's looking at this thing he's got. This ornament is a violation of dress codes. It was hidden. You could hardly see it. You remove it now. I know. I'll have to take it off if the earring. Because the Bajoran thing, that's what that girl wore? Yes, correct. In addition, your boots are scuffed. From now on, you arrive in polished boots. Yes, sir. Do you have a problem, Mr. Dalby? No, sir. Very well. You will all report to me at 11 o'clock at 11, deck 11 at 1900 hours. Dismissed. What are we going to be doing? You'll find out at 1900 hours. Dismissed. Don't know. Oh, there's his medallion, by the way. I just wanted to show it. So Dalby is in engineering with B'Elanna. I've been saying this for months now, for years, for decades. Could you put some more light in the room so we can see? The characters can pretend they're in a dark room, but the rest of us would like to see what's going on. If you're having a dramatic situation in the dark, well, lighten it up because we would like to be able to see what's going on at home. There was this little vampire show a couple years ago. No, I don't know, 5-10 years ago. And no one watched it because you couldn't see anything. Wait a second here. My cat is walking around the room crying. And she comes. I put my hand out. And she's this far from my hand. And she won't take the extra step. She's just looking at me. She's waiting. We've got to go. And she's waiting. And she wants to go now. Impatient child. So he's with Dalby's with B'Elanna. And Dalby says, I'm going through with this field training as ordered. I can't say it's very productive. Frankly, it feels like a punishment. In other words, you're afraid you won't make it, that you'll fail this training. Excuse me, that's not what I said or what I'm thinking. What, you think I can't make it through this ridiculous exercise? That's absurd. Fine, then make it through. And they find another palace failure. It's the gel packs again. Deck 4, Section 9C. Bridge to engineering. Report. It's another malfunction in the bioneural circuitry. We're putting a repair crew on it now. Torres out. Dobby, replace the failed gel pack and check out the adjoining circuits. Make sure we don't have any kind of cascade feedback causing this. We just can't keep replacing these things. Ensign, you're in charge till I get back. I'll be in sickbay if you need me. So Torres takes the doctor one of the gel packs. She said, and Cass is there. This is your new patient. It's one of the bioneural gel packs. Ah, yes, I'm aware of these devices, but I've never seen one. It's malfunctioning, but I can't find anything wrong with it mechanically. I thought you could look at the biological component. Interesting. Initiate scan. Scan beam active. Ah, what is it? The patient is sick. Can you be more specific? To discuss the patient's condition in front of the patient would be a serious breach of ethic. It's been suggested that I cultivate a greater sensitivity to my patient's needs. Don't worry, my little friend. Doctor! Very well. The biological component of the circuit device has an infection, a very contagious one. Is the crew in any danger? I don't detect any sign of infection in you, Lieutenant Kess says. I suspect the contagion is not harmful to humanoids. If it were, we'd probably have seen evidence of illness in the crew by now. But in order to protect the ship's circuitry, you'll have to isolate and quarantine all the affected gel packs until a treatment regimen can be initiated. I'll have to take the forward grids offline. We'll lose replicators, but I can't reroute the primary systems. How long do you need? I don't know. Unless we find out the source of the infection, we won't be able to stop it from spreading. And Torres is like, okay, I'll tell the captain. So then Tuvok is putting them through training, like the outdoor type training. I can't think of the word for it right now, but like going out for a run around the building and up hills and down hills and through rugged terrain and all that kind of stuff. He's taking them all over the ship. He's got them wearing backpacks and stuff. He does all this training with them. So they've been all over town and up and down stairs and through corridors and stuff like that. And they get to this and they're all sweating like crazy. And he says, you never know what conditions you might encounter. You must be prepared for anything. Crewman Geron and Shell, you have not completed your run. By my account, we have lapped you 3 times. You will finish the 10 kilometers now. We will repeat this exercise tomorrow evening, and I expect each one of you to do better with your performance. Oops. So then Kim and Taurus are in the transporter room. Have you found any traces of bacteria? Kim, I've checked the transporter logs for the past month. There's no indication that the biofilter picked up anything suspicious. We stopped at that planet, Napine, brought on some food stores for Neelix. Some of it looked pretty strange. Right, vermilite fiber, whole green poultice split. What split? Like milk. I looked into logs. Everything checked out. Okay, let's go over the environmental systems. Maybe we're dealing with something airborne. He's been at it since before I got here. Chell, what are you doing? Mr. Tuvok ordered me to degust the entire transporter room. But you're using a micro-resonator. I know. Why don't you use the Magnacton scanner? You'll be in here 5 minutes. Tuvok told him to use the micro-resonator. He'll be here for 4 hours. Mr. Tuvok estimated 26.3 hours. Sounds like Tuvok estimate. Is that equivalent to the hazing situation of cleaning a bathroom with a toothbrush? I was just thinking. Then we get a Tuvok. Security log supplemental. I've recreated the bridge of Voyager on the holodeck and scheduled a wargame simulation. I am hopeful that an exercise in teamwork will help to instill a sense of participation among my trainees. I can't get a group shot. Tuvok is walking around the room, and they're getting close-ups of all the people in the room as he walks around the room. On the bridge, we depend on smooth functioning of every crewman at every station. You are the captain's eyes, ears, and hands. You must function as one perfectly tuned unit. Mr. Dalby, I understand you have command experience. Yes, sir. Year of the bridge. The program will present... Wait a minute. Come here. You keep screaming at me. The, the program will present you with a series of random events which you and your crew must deal with in whatever manner you see fit. I understand. The program will be initiated when you set course. All set? Aye, sir. Mr. Chow, a warp 6, heading 159 Mark 7. Aye, sir. Mr. Garan, what's the nearest star system? I'm showing a red giant system 3.7 light years from our current position. There are 8 planets, none of them Class M. Sir, we're picking up an automated distress call. Source? Unknown. There's a lot of subspace interference. Garan, can you fix it? Sensors indicate a Ferengi ship heavily damaged by weapons fire. 8 life form reading. Very faint. Hail them. They're not responding. I must point out, too, that the Ferengi have been known to deceive other ships by pretending to be damaged. We could be falling into a trap. We have a duty to offer humanitarian aid if we can, Shell. Change course to intercept. Course laid in. Proceed. Sir, a Romulan warbird decloaking off the port bow. Red alert. Hail them. Let them know we're on a rescue mission. They're powering up weapons. No response to the hail. Evasive maneuvers. And they do this whole thing. I'm not going to read it all, but they go through it all. So they end up getting attacked by the Romulans and very badly, and they destroy the whole ship. The whole ship blows. So Tuvok says, computer reset program. Your first command together was less successful. You were all dead. It was a no-win situation. What are we supposed to do? Can anyone answer that question? Tuvok says. I thought we went by the book. I certainly did everything I could possibly do. My invasive action sequences could not be faulted. At least we went out with our phasers firing. Mr. Duran, do you have something to say? What does it matter? It matters because if you do not learn from your mistakes, you will be doomed to repeat them. I was in command. Put the blame on me. The crew was just following my orders. And you have reached a conclusion to your error? I thought I did everything I could. We were just outgunned. I see. Did the possibility of retreat not occur to you? Retreat? I cannot believe you said that. The strongest tactical move is always the one in which you'll reap the highest gain at the lowest cost. Going out with phasers firing may seem heroic, but in the long run, it is merely foolish. Retreat is often the best possible option. Well, Mr. Tuvok, once more you've proven your point. We're just not Starfleet for material. Are we dismissed, sir? And Tuvok's like, yeah, you're dismissed. After you just killed yourselves. So then Tuvok is in the mess hall. Neelix comes over. I feel that my services as morale officer are required. I assure you, you are wrong. Oh, really? 1, no cup of tea. 2, no pad. 3, you're sitting on the opposite side from usual. All of that tells me you've got something on your mind. And what tells me is making you miserable is that cloud of doom that's rising from you like a fog. I cannot imagine there's invisible emanations which allow you to interpret my mood. You are making wild assumptions. Aha! The Marquis training got you down. I do not believe they are responding to my instruction. What seems to be the problem? That is what I've been trying to determine, and I'm afraid I'm at a loss. I've literally taught thousands of cadets and have never encountered these difficulties. My methods are sound and time-honored. I insist on strict adherence to the rules and protocols. Never waver from the approach. I have always been successful in honoring each cadet into Starfleet. Come with me. I want to show you something. Let's look. So Neelix is showing him some flowers. These are Keela flowers, beautiful and remarkably strong. Their stem is flexible and possible to break. But occasionally on the same plant, there's a bloom whose stem is not so flexible. Ah, here's one. When the stem is brittle, it breaks. You're saying that the Marquis crew is rigid and inflexible, that they will never adjust to Starfleet rules. No, Mr. Vulcan, I'm saying that you are rigid and inflexible. Maybe if you learn to bend a little, you might have better luck with your class. Those Marquis aren't Starfleet cadets. You can't treat them the same way. Getting to know them, try to find out what they're like inside. You might discover a better teaching method. I'm not sure if I have the ability to find out what they're like inside, Mr. Neelix. What is that? Grilled cheese. I made it from shrimp we bought on the board last week. Ensign Ashmore asked for something called macaroni and cheese. Cheese. You must cultivate bacteria to make cheese. Of course. Maybe that's what's wrong with the gel packs. There it is. Looks like green cottage cheese or something, right? Tuvok looks at the cheese and then looks at the ceiling vent. Then we get a captain's voiceover. Captain's log, stardate 48859.3. Lieutenant Tuvok has reported what may be the possible explanation for the infection in the bioneural gel packs. I've asked Lieutenant Torres and her team to investigate Neelix's kitchen. Get me a schematic of the airflow patterns for the whole ship. Aye, sir. This cheese is full of vital bacterial spores. It has to stay isolated in this portable containment field. What is it? That's just a Lorarian pudding. It has to simmer for 4 hours. The spores must have traveled through that intake and into the ventilation system, where they were disseminated through the ship, subsequently infecting the bioneural circuitry. I feel awful about this. I assure you, I had no idea. And the lights start to flicker and go on and off. More gel packs must be done. If this is getting to be the environmental systems, we may be in more trouble than we thought. Neelix, this wasn't your fault. The important thing is we found the source. Get the cheese to sickbay. The doctor should be able to look at it as soon as possible. So then Tuvok decides to take his trainees onto the French holodeck thing to have them play pool and to get to know the people better and get to know the individual people. There's a whole lot of dialogue here. We're just going to skip over it, all of it. But he just plays with them all and gets to know them a little bit better. So then we're in sickbay. And the doctor says it's pernicious, whatever infection agent I've ever seen. Systematically attacked every cell in the gel pack's biological matrix. I've exposed it to every antibacterial agent we have available. It hasn't responded. Captain, what seems to be happening? We're losing more bioneuroseek, Doctor. All systems are being affected. Please tell me you have some good news. I'm afraid not. Frankly, I'm at a loss. But we'll keep trying. Please do. Janeway out. Doctor says, what I'm curious is that the bacteria didn't show up in any of our diagnostic scans of the ship. But if the bacteria from this cheese into the ship systems, how did the gel packs get infected? I haven't read that viruses can live out beside bacteria. Of course, a virus. The bacteria could be host to the infected virus. There are thousands of viruses so small they could escape detection. So maybe we should try the antiviral agents on the gel packs. It's worth a try. So then we're in the cargo bay, I think. I think the inertial dampeners are malfunctioning, along with a lot of other things. Class dismissed. Return to your duty stations. And the doors don't open. They're stuck in there. So then we're on the bridge. And Kim says the bioneural network is failing sequentially. We're losing systems faster than we can compensate with backups. What about changing over to isolunar circuitry? Torres is working on it, but it's a long way from being ready. It couldn't even maintain life support at this point. Paris, propulsion is down. Every system on the main grid is down. Communications, transporters, turbolifts, everything. Get us going there, Torres, with life support. Back to the cargo bay. Doctor says an infection in the same humanoid organisms do. with a fever. Exactly. We've experimented with heating the samples of bioneural circuitry. We have here and results are promising. Of course, we don't have the ability to produce the amount of heat needed to wipe out a shipwide infection. Janeway to Taurus. If we wanted to superheat the gel packs to raise the temperature, so to speak, how would we do it? I suppose we could fuse the gel packs with a high-energy plasma burst from a systematic warp field, but we have to generate the heat by inverting the warp field towards the ship. Right, we could produce the required energy by getting the warp engines to 80% of maximum while we're standing still. Let me get back. You want to see the other people. So it goes to Janeway, it goes to Taurus, it goes to Janeway, it goes to Taurus, it goes to Janeway, it goes to Taurus. I'm not doing all that. I'm aware of that, but I think we have to try it. Divert all power, including the life support, to the warp engines. Aye, Captain. Mr. Paris, deactivate the nacelle controls and prepare to engage the warp engines. Nacelle controls deactivated, ready to go. Do it! So they're trapped in the cargo bay and they can't get out, and a fire starts. So now their lives are threatened. A conduit is getting hot. So am I. It's awfully warm in here. Something's wrong, very wrong. I would surmise the captain is making some effort to deal with the systems failure. The fact that we do not know what that effort entails may lead to us to imagine the worst. But we must not let fear get the best of us, Tuvok says. Mr. Gurren, it is possible the console in the control room is still functioning. Please see if you can open the doors from here. And he heads up the ladder, and the ship shakes and stuff like that. And we go back to the bridge. We see some action on the bridge dealing with that. Let's see. Paris has got sweat all over him. I don't know about the bacteria, but I'm about ready to pass out. Engines are at 74% of maximum, Chakotay says. That's not enough for a plasma burst. Mr. Paris, increase antimatter flow. It's having an effect, Captain. Temperature is 340 kevlons. Can we get on engines a little hotter? Mr. Paris, get us to 80% of maximum somehow. I'll try, Paris says. Alright, this is going to be a little difficult to cover, so we're just going to go through it. It gets really foggy in there, the smoky, they can't see, their lives are under, thing. Tuvok and the three get to the Jeffrey Two's entrance open just as the conduit blows. The plasma gas will become toxic within minutes. We must leave immediately. What about Garon? We can't leave him. Get in the Jeffrey Twos. I cannot risk losing any more of you to save one man. What is that? Some kind of Starfleet rule? It is always tactically correct to sacrifice the few for the many. I don't... And he goes off on him, and he goes back down, and, Tuvok closes the ladder, and they go off. And then Tuvok runs back for the missing guy. The doctor tells her it's working. She's sweating up a storm on the bridge. Sweating. Tuvok goes back, gets the guy, climbs him up the stairs, and gets him in the Jeffrey tube, and saves his life. The crew has just about passed out, but systems are coming back online. So, they end up getting a door open and rescuing Tuvok and the other guy. And he says to the guy, I thought Starfleet rules said that was inaccessible risk going back to save him. It was. However, I recently realized there are times when it is desirable to bend the rules. Lieutenant, if you can learn to bend the rules, I guess we can learn to follow them. And they go to sickbay, and that's the end of the episode. And that's the end of the learning curve. And that's the end of the disc, too. So please tune in next week. I don't know what's coming next week because I don't have the disc in front of me. But please hit the like and subscribe and let me know I'm doing a good job. Have a good one.